up, Hardcore Nation? It is Hardcore Christopher here, and it is time to talk about Buff the Stuff Bagwell. Where to start? Well, let's start in WCW. There was Marcus. Well, okay. I'm just gonna bounce around here. In WCW, Bagwell was part of the NWO, which he got kicked out of, and he also got kicked out of, well, not kicked out, but he was also part of the American Males. You know, American Males, American Males, American Males, American Males, American Males, American Males, American Males. So I don't know about Buff's accomplishments, but in WCW, I know he did not have that many in, well, he didn't have any in WWE, but I'll get to that shortly. So Buff was part of the whole Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. It was supposed to be Judy Bagwell on a pole, but how are you going to fit Judy Bagwell on a pole? That's Vince Russo booking. Buff's time in WCW was the height of his career, and when WCW got bought out, it was rumored that he was the reason that Vince and the WWE canceled. Well, okay. I'm going to say that rumor is more than likely true, because literally the only thing that Buff Bagwell ever did in the WWF was have a match with Booker T. And looking back at that match, it was not a bad match. Booker and Bagwell did put on a very good showing. But, you know, it was war at the time, and WWF, the WWF audience, obviously knew who Buff and Booker were. They just didn't care. But the ending of the match, was a double disqualification with Kurt Angle and Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yes, he did cause problems in the back. Here's the thing about Buff. Like I said, WCW was the peak of his career, and the WWF was the decline of his career. But I am not going to harp on Vince, because, you know, like Wrestling for Fans has said, that, you know, Buff had the body, Buff had the look. but did not have the stuff in the WWF. Obviously, he obviously Vince. There was a rumor that Vince wanted to keep WCW around as like a third brand, but that went away probably because of Buff Bagwell. And and Buff is not a wrestler anymore. And he has it out for Jim Ross. He believes that Jim Ross sabotaged his career. But I have a hard time believing that because um let's see. Because Jim Ross was talent relations at the time. Wrestling for fans, he was in TNA? When was he in TNA? It must have been the early years of TNA. Yeah, he didn't have it in TNA either. So you go from a wrestler. Okay. So so back to what I was saying about Buff Bagwell, because the story that he has is that um, is that Jim got a call from Judy Bagwell. Judy Bagwell. Okay. Judy Bagwell called him up and things, and Buff doesn't think it happened. And my only question is, if Vince was grateful to give you guys a job, well, give Buff a job, and then you're going to say that the head of talent relations at the time, because John Laurinaitis did not take over as head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis' reign over talent relations was in 2005. But do I think that Jim JR, do I think that JR sabotaged Buff Bagwell's career? No. Here's why. Makes absolutely no sense. Wrestling for fans, you may not agree with it. Oh, and Buff Bagwell in TNA, he didn't have that long of a run there. So now what does the stuff Bagwell do? He's a male escort. Enough said. So do I see Buff Bagwell not do I see Buff Bagwell getting into the Hall of Fame? No, because Buff Bagwell did not have a career. He had a career. It just wasn't a good career. He did nothing. That's all I gotta say about Buff Bagwell. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone. Oh, and wrestling for fans. What are your thoughts on this? I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.